Jennifer earned her fifth certification in February. She hung it on her wall next to the other four, stepped back to admire the collection, and felt absolutely nothing. Not pride, not accomplishment, just the creeping awareness that somewhere, right now, someone was probably launching a new platform that would make all five certificates irrelevant by summer. She was 35 years old. She had a master's degree, 10 years of experience, and a LinkedIn profile that screamed highly qualified marketing professional. She also had crippling imposter syndrome and a browser with 17 open tabs, each one a different online course she'd started and abandoned when the next essential skill appeared. The worst part? She was good at her job, really good. But good had stopped feeling like enough the day a 24-year-old in a hoodie casually mentioned he'd just taught himself, the exact thing Jennifer had spent 6 weeks and $800 learning. Being competent used to mean something. Now it just meant you were 6 months away from being obsolete. It started innocently. An email from her company. Upskilling opportunity. Google Analytics 4 certification. Made sense. GA4 was replacing Universal Analytics. If she didn't learn it, she'd be useless when the switch happened. She passed the certification on the first try. Felt good. Felt proactive. 2 weeks later, her boss asked if she knew SQL. The data team needs help pulling reports, and I figured with your analytics background. She didn't know SQL. But she couldn't say that without sounding behind, so she said, "I'm familiar with the basics," and immediately signed up for a Udemy course. Then someone mentioned AI-powered marketing automation, then SEO algorithm updates, then TikTok advertising strategies, then prompt engineering for ChatGPT, then on and on it went. The treadmill had no off switch. Every skill she acquired revealed 3 more she didn't have. Every course completion triggered an algorithmic recommendation for the next must-learn tool. Every LinkedIn post from a peer celebrating their latest certification felt like a personal indictment. She was running as fast as she could and somehow falling further behind. Jennifer's calendar had a recurring block every evening: professional development. It sounded impressive. It felt like drowning. Monday night, finish Module 7 of the SEO course. Tuesday, watch 3 hours of YouTube tutorials on Figma. Wednesday, LinkedIn Learning Path on data visualization. Thursday, that webinar on the future of marketing. That was really just a sales pitch. Friday, catch up on the modules she'd missed Monday through Thursday because she was too exhausted. Her husband asked once why she was always on her laptop after dinner. "Just staying current," she said, not looking up from a video about marketing attribution models. Current with what? Everything? Nothing. The imaginary finish line that moved every time she got close. She couldn't explain it without sounding insane, so she didn't try. The breaking point came during a strategy meeting. Her boss introduced a new tool the company was adopting, some AI content platform Jennifer had never heard of. Everyone nodded like this was expected. Jennifer felt her chest tighten. She pulled up the tool's website on her laptop while her boss talked. Enterprise level. Definitely not something she could just figure out over a weekend. She opened a new tab and searched for courses. Found one. $600. 40 hours of content. She felt sick. That night, she logged into her course platforms to see what she was actually juggling. The list was psychotic. SEO Mastery course, 23% complete, last accessed 6 weeks ago. SQL for marketers, 61% complete, abandoned after she realized she'd never actually use it. Content strategy certification, paid for, never started. Advanced Google Ads, 89% complete, but the exam cost extra and she hadn't scheduled it. AI marketing tools, 12% complete, outdated before she finished Module 3. She'd spent over $3,000 in the last year on courses. She had completed exactly 1. The math was humiliating, but not as humiliating as the realization that followed. None of this had made her better at her job. It had just made her more anxious about not being good enough. The next morning, Jennifer did something radical. She closed all her course tabs and opened her actual work. She had a campaign to plan, a real one, for a real client, using skills she already had. She wrote the strategy in 2 hours. It was good, better than good. Clear positioning, smart channel mix, realistic goals. She used tools she'd known for years and instincts she'd developed through experience, not certification programs. Her boss approved it in 1 round. This is exactly what we needed. Nice work. Jennifer stared at the email. She'd been so busy trying to learn everything that she'd forgotten she already knew how to do the work. That weekend, she ran into an old colleague at the coffee shop, someone who'd been in marketing longer than Jennifer had been alive. "How do you keep up with everything?" Jennifer asked. "All the new tools, the algorithm changes, "I don't," the woman said simply. "What?" "I don't keep up with everything. I keep up with what matters for the work I'm actually doing. The rest is just noise." "But what if you fall behind?" "Behind what? Some imaginary standard of knowing everything? Nobody knows everything, Jennifer. The people who pretend to know everything are either lying or selling courses." It was the most liberating sentence Jennifer had heard in 3 years. She didn't cancel all her courses. She didn't swear off learning, but she did something smarter. She got specific. Instead of trying to know every tool, she identified the two that would actually improve her current projects. Instead of chasing every trend, she focused on deepening expertise in the channels that drove 80% of her results. Instead of collecting certificates, she started solving real problems with skills she already had. The shift was subtle but seismic. She stopped starting courses and started finishing work. She stopped feeling behind and started feeling focused. She stopped performing learning and started actually learning, slowly, deliberately, in service of problems she was actively trying to solve. 3 months later, a junior marketer on her team asked if she could recommend a good analytics course. "What do you need to learn analytics for?" Jennifer asked. "I don't know, just staying relevant." Jennifer recognized the panic in her voice, the treadmill, spinning up for another victim. "What are you problem you're trying to solve?" Jennifer asked. The junior marketer paused. I don't know, I just feel like I should know more." "That's not a learning goal," Jennifer said. "That's anxiety. Figure out what you're actually trying to do, then learn the minimum you need to do it. Everything else is just resume decoration." Jennifer still took courses occasionally, but now they were tactical, specific, and tied to real work. She still felt the pull of staying current, but she'd learned to distinguish between genuine professional development and the performance of competence. Her certificate wall stayed the same. 5 certificates, most of them outdated. She stopped adding to it. Her actual skills, meanwhile, got sharper, not because she was learning everything, but because she'd finally stopped trying to. The treadmill was still there. It would always be there. But Jennifer had learned something crucial. You don't have to get on just because it's moving. The LinkedIn posts from peers celebrating their 8th certification in a year, she scrolled past them now without the spike of panic. Either they'd figured out something she hadn't, or they were just as trapped as she used to be. Either way, it wasn't her problem anymore. She had actual work to do.